What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Speak Up Sports Podcast with Cass, Christian Shaw. What's going on, fellas?
It's good, yo.
What's good? What's good?
What's good, man? Back off a off week. Last week was Combine week, and this week in the NFL, at least, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of activity. We're exactly a week away from the start of the new league year, which means free agency starts. So with that has come a lot of people getting cut. Obviously, teams have started they figured out what the salary cap is going to look like next year, and have started to go about things based on that, whether it's cuts, whether that's restructures. People have been requesting trades. Teams have given players the opportunity to, shop themselves while still being with the team. So, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on over the past, since we've been, last together. And then obviously, there's the combine that happened with, actual players performing on the field and, trying to go towards their dreams. So lots to catch up on. And obviously we'll touch base in the NBA today as well. But, we got to start with the NFL. I don't know where to start, but I guess, top news really is Travis Kelce has officially decided that he's not going to retire. So, hey, he personally hates me.
It's in spite of you. Is what he's doing that shit. He's like, nah,
that nigga don't know who the fuck I am. But it's good to see. I'm not, I don't want to make it seem like I'm wishing for him to retire, but obviously, if you predict something, you kind of want it to come true. But it's good to have him, for another year. We'll see how long, he goes until the wheels fall off. But actually, I saw that he basically said he wants to honor the contract that he has. So maybe the wheels are falling off pretty soon. But obviously, the next biggest news is Matthew Stafford. Not moving, I guess, or returning, whatever the fuck they were trying to say, like he actually got traded or he's back. like
back from where? Where did he go?
But how'd you guys feel about that whole mini saga with Matthew Stafford?
I understand the process of trying to get the lay of the land pretty much for a 36-year-old quarterback going to be 37. Like, I get that you want to see exactly what his worth is around the league and kind of go from there. So, I mean, it seems like, and we talk about it all the time, like Les Snead, Sean McVay, like that's a good organization right there. And it seems like they try their best to do things on the up and up with transparency. They had multiple interviews throughout the past couple of weeks talking about the situation and talking about how much they talked with Matt throughout that. So, I'm not surprised how it ended up with him going back. It does kind of like, in a way, it does kind of suck for the Giants and the Raiders fans who kind of got their hopes up a little bit, especially in Combine Week when the talk started getting more loud about it being a possibility. So from their point of view, they're probably like, we just got from their point of view, it's like, how do you go about these next week or so, like with all the rumors that are about to come out about who could possibly be their quarterback if something just got snatched away from you that fast? Because now you hear Aaron Rodgers about the Giants, and it's like, do you want to get your hopes up about that? Because we just saw what happened. So, but not surprised about the outcome with Matt. I feel like that's the best place for him. With the teams that are being rumored, it seems like the Rams give him the best opportunity to try to make something happen over these next 2-3 years, however long he wants to play. So,
I mean, I think I said this when we talked about it before, that I didn't see, where the Rams were headed if they would have let him go or let him get traded with the year that they had last year. I know that Cooper Kupp is obviously not going to be there, but you still got Puka, you still got a good running back in Kyron Williams, and your defense is young. I just felt like at the time, I mean, you could make the argument of how good is Jimmy G, but I just feel like at this very moment constructed, if you don't have a clear-cut like replacement that you want to go for with years, then I mean, you might as well ride pause. You might as well allow Matthew Stafford to, play out his contract and do what you need to do until you can figure it out. But I'm not surprised. Like Cass said, I mean, for a team like the Giants, I mean, they in a fucking whirlwind. You go from Daniel Jones paying him, then release him in the mid-season, and then you think you might get a veteran quarterback, a good quarterback, still got some years on him, and then that shit don't happen. So now you almost banking on getting, because what are you going to do? Are you going to draft a quarterback? Did you change your evaluation based on the fact that you might have gotten Matthew Stafford, and that's why you might be trying to pivot to another quarterback because you didn't change your evaluation or change how you want to draft? So, I guess it sucks for real for them, but I think it's the correct move for the Rams to keep Matthew Stafford.
Oh, on the Giants front, I'm pretty sure based on what they've been reporting is the whole idea was that they were going to get Matthew Stafford or Aaron Rodgers, but also probably get the number one draft pick and have the pick of the litter at the quarterback. So, on that front, I think that plan hasn't really changed in terms of they're going to draft the quarterback regardless. So, do you have somebody immediately where you feel like you can compete right away? Maybe not, but how does that look? I don't know. I do think that the Giants would have had a pretty good team given if Matthew Stafford or Aaron Rodgers goes over there. But now how does that translate? From paper to field is a completely different conversation. But my first takeaway is guys. Well, like everybody's basically, a lot of people basically said nobody really thought that he was actually leaving the Rams. Well, I can 100% tell you guys, stop fucking talking about the Falcons going after Lamar Jackson or whomever else that said no to Lamar Jackson, because that's 100% what the fuck would have happened. He would have talked to some other team, some other dumbass team with an actual quarterback in place, because those teams don't have a quarterback in place. Gardner Minshew just got cut. Those teams would have talked to somebody with a quarterback in place, pissed the quarterback off, and Lamar Jackson would have been smiling in Baltimore the whole time. He was never leaving. Please.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that dumb bullshit again. Next year when Lamar Jackson's eating and inevitably probably going to be an MVP conversation, and maybe the Falcons are probably in the same spot that they've been in. I don't want to hear they said no to Lamar and picked Michael Penix, and Michael Penix isn't doing that great. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't that's not what would happen. So that was honestly the biggest takeaway from that. But, good for Matt Stafford. Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of stuff that's come out about the Rams having issues with his wife. And maybe I read an article that basically said there's been a little bit of conflicting information where some people have said that it was his wife that actually really wanted the trades and wanted to get out. And Matt was the one that kind of reined it back in. And then there's that same article said that there was other reports that said his wife was the one that didn't want to leave because she didn't want to uproot her life and the kids. So, there's a lot of stuff there. Something needs to be done there in terms of not saying that his wife, not saying it's like a, shut up and dribble or like stay in your place on some disrespectful shit. But, we shouldn't be talking about Matthew Stafford, period, or anybody's wife, in general, because they have nothing to do. Well, they're not a part of the on-field product, so we really shouldn't even be focused on that aspect of it at all. So that's something they might need to figure out.
It is rough, because I saw the same thing you saw, and I think that the part about her wanting to leave kind of stemmed from her comments about Cooper Kupp. And how they were moving on from him and the kind of direction of the franchise. And that's what she kind of questioned a couple weeks ago. And then boom, all this happens. Then he kind of tied it in together. But I also saw where she was the one that didn't want to leave the kids and leave LA, which, not a lot of people do want to leave LA once they're there, as we've seen historically. So yeah, I agree. Something needs to happen there as far as like her. And speaking of the franchise, like maybe put something in. I don't know. They They got the power to do anything they want
Maybe
to.
they just need to have a conversation where maybe she's not talking about the football aspect of things, because it's inevitably going to be tied back to Matthew Stafford, even if he he's going home and saying XYZ, when in reality he might not have ever said anything. And she has, she obviously, just like us, has the right to voice her opinion about things. And obviously she's a lot closer to the situation than any of us, and anybody that's in, the national media. So she absolutely has the right to say what she wants. But at the end of the day, that is going to be something that people are going to kind of, harp back on. And if he would have left the Rams, inevitably there would have definitely been some nasty fans that would have, had some things to say. So, but yeah, I mean, shit, man, it's so much to get into. Today we obviously got the news that Joe Tooney has officially been, not officially, but will officially be traded next week from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Bears, along with Jonah Jackson from the Rams. So the Bears kind of beefing up that offensive line. Obviously, I don't think anybody really expected that, from really anywhere, because, I mean, the first hint of it we got was like 2 minutes before the trade was announced.
Right? That should happen real fast.
How do you guys feel about that, and kind of the outlook for both teams, given because, I mean, he was their best offensive lineman. So.
I mean, for me, you see where the Bears are going with it. They're trying to, like you said, bolster up that offensive line. Maybe give Caleb some, I guess. Obviously better protection, but more so being able to trust his line a little better. Maybe keep him from trying to, do too much and trying to escape too early when you got a better O line in front of you. Maybe you can go through your reads better and, make better plays. And for the Chiefs, I just look at it as them trying to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and go younger, and, gonna have to go ahead and develop these O linemen instead of, um, bringing them on and then at the sign of adversity just snatching them out and then just moving around. I mean, that's ultimately was their detriment this year in the Super Bowl, moving Tooney to a position that he doesn't normally play. And you strip your middle of your offensive line, and that hurts you. So maybe now they can focus on developing, and I don't know, maybe there's an O lineman out there that they can bring back or whatever. But I think it fits for both teams.
I get, money wise, I get it from the Chiefs' point of view. They still have a lot of work to do. Like I kind of said a couple weeks ago on the podcast. I think I put them on the hot seat too, or something to that effect, about being serious about their O line. They still need an answer at left tackle. There's a report that they're going to move Kingsley in, move him into left guard to replace Tooney. But with that, you still need a left tackle, so you're still in the hunt for that. But from the Bears' point of view, I mean, that's kind of what you want to see as a Bears fan, as a member of the organization, like being serious about the O line. And you gotta, from what they gave up a future fourth and a sixth it was a sixth for Jonah Jackson, right? So not a whole lot for two pretty decent players. Like it doesn't restrict you from going there in the draft either. If you want to go in the second or third round and try to get a young talent to develop still. Looks like they're still in the market for a center. So we'll see if they're in on Kelly or Drew Dahlman once free agency starts. They still have the space for that. So I like what the Bears are doing though. They're being serious, being intentional about the O-line, and they're getting to it fast. So I respect it.
I mean, I definitely think obviously getting Joe Tooney is you can't be upset with that at all. Obviously, he's been a great offensive lineman since he stepped into the league. Jackson on the other hand, obviously he was good in Detroit and getting back to go back with his former offensive coordinator, but obviously last year he didn't have the best year with the Rams, which is why he's obviously gone after just signing a contract. But
yeah.
I don't make too much of it, honestly. They do have to sign a center, and we have to see how the tackles hold up, the tackles that they've drafted over the past couple of years. But You know, in a sense, you know, when Cass was like, I like what the Bears are doing, you know, it kind of made me think back to last year because I mean, didn't they do all of this exactly last year? Basically, got some pieces in the line, got a lot of receivers, and they had the best you know, best position for a rookie quarterback. So
I think the
you
O-line
know,
pieces though were more unproven than these two that they just picked up. And I'll just say like,
to be honest, I would honestly say kind of um let's compare it more to the Panthers because the Panthers last year signed two guards right away, obviously because Bryce Young was a little bit of a smaller quarterback, similar to Caleb.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bryce Young had more struggles than Caleb did last year, but you know Caleb still had his struggles. So it will be interesting, and I want to use Bryce Young as the example because obviously, and we can get into that later if y'all want, but you know on the other spectrum of quarterbacks that got benched and you know we see one parallel with Anthony Richardson and now he has an open competition at quarterback and Bryce Young on the other hand got benched and it seems like the Panthers are like we've got our guy and we're going full throttle so it will be interesting to see Caleb this year does he if he does struggle at the beginning of the year, does he go through that, or do they stick with him and let him play out the full season, even if he's not having, you know, the season that we expect? So that will be something that's interesting to watch as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, the Chiefs on the other hand, you know, this is something I haven't seen too many people talk. I haven't seen anybody talk about really. Is that, I mean, they did get DJ Humphries last year. He did hit that he kind of wanted to return and see how things would go. And I actually think they got him on 2 years. I could be wrong on that. But he wanted to return and you know have a full off season and see how things go. So I don't know if maybe that's kind of their plan or he is in their plans. And then maybe they draft another tackle this year and kind of, or maybe next year, see how things go. Because I mean, he is a little up in age, but you know, I mean, like you said, they're on the hot seat. The front office, because I mean, they have to start hitting on some of these players. Obviously, it's something to say when you've been to 3 straight Super Bowls and been to however many 5 out of the last 6 or whatever the fuck it is. But you know, that was also on the backs of yesteryear's, you know, stars and yesteryear's kind of foundation and Travis Kelsey, you know, Tariq Hill, Chris Jones, and obviously, you know, Tariq Hill is gone, but Travis is getting to his last leg. Chris Jones is getting up there in age. You got to start hitting on some of these guys. You let go Snead, McDuffie, who are getting cooked all year. So you gotta start hitting some of these players. Nah, I'm just talking shit. McDuffie's a dog, but McDuffie,
yeah,
you know, outside of that, you know, the rest of your top picks haven't necessarily been great to this point. We'll see what Xavier Worthy looks like. I can't even remember the defensive end that or the pass rusher that they ended up drafting. But that they, you know, Sky Moore, some of those guys, top picks. Obviously, we'll see what Rashid Rice, how he returns, and then you know his suspension. But they got a lot of work to do to kind of keep pace with what they want to do and build the next dynasty of the next 10 years. So. Continuing on, obviously we've got the receivers list that keeps adding more and more. Devontae Adams has been cut officially, which we knew probably the day we knew the day that he got traded that this was probably coming. Christian Kirk is about to get released. DK Metcalf has requested a trade. Tyler Lockett has gotten released. I mean, it's a lot of receivers that are kind of in the mix now. We obviously finished up with a franchise tag, so we did see that T. Higgins won't be on the market. But you know, in terms of those main top guys, DK, Vontae Adams, you know, how'd you guys feel about you know the requested trade and kind of their landing spots?
I mean, like you said, Devontae Adams. I mean, that was all writings on the wall. That shit wasn't
Oh,
Oh
Debo
yeah,
to the
Debo.
Commanders as well. My bad. Forgot about that.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting free agency next week. I should say that because I mean, as far as DK goes, that just tells me that he must not like the offense that they're running or what's going on in Seattle in general. I'm not gonna say it's Geno per se, but he must not like the offense that's being ran over there, and he's ready to get up out of there. Now are they gonna honor his trade request? Who the fuck knows? You never know. They obviously gonna leverage whoever they're trying to trade with, get as much as they can for DK. Which team picking up DK, I don't know about y'all, but that's a significant pickup to me. I fuck with DK. But I mean, I guess the most interesting one to me is really Debo. That you said that because he had a bad year last year. Yeah, last year was not a good year at all for him. And it's a lot of commentary out there that are saying as if this puts them over the top, and I'm just not seeing it. Like you can't just throw that out there just because of something that somebody did 2-3 years ago, and just to say, oh, because a rookie quarterback had a great year last year, that he's going to be able to automatically replicate what he did. And I've been saying this, like, I just don't like when a rookie, has an outstanding first year that everybody just elevates them and say, hey, they elite now. Like, no, you got to see this more than once. You can't just say 1 year when nobody's played against them. Now that the team got tape on him, now that the teams get to see what his tendencies are, what he like, what he don't like, or whatnot. Now let's see how he performs. But I just don't like them putting him in that kind of box. But as far as the pick of a Debo, it would help, but I just don't like the aspect of making it seem like they just not now they the team to beat at this point. That's the sentiment that's been going around. So
I think it could be a little rough for the Commanders. Tougher schedule perceived, though. We'll see how it all shakes out, but definitely a tougher schedule than they had this past season. Moving to a second place instead of a fourth place schedule. But I mean, I feel you on that. I'll talk about Devontae Adams. we got on this podcast, and a lot of us were skeptical ish of the move. About it, like how the future of it will work out. When you look at the cap sheet, like you said, Shy, like you knew from the end of the season, like there's no way he's gonna come back. There's no way that people are going to trade for him. Like, of course, they put it out like, "Oh yeah, we're listening to trade calls." Nobody's trading for that shit. Nobody's trading for that contract. So you knew the release was coming. I do wonder where he ends up. If he's going to follow Aaron Rodgers wherever, or if he's going to go back to the West Coast like that, like the media people have been pushing. But at the same time, man, like the Devontae Adams did show at the end of last season that he does have some stuff left in the tank, as shown by that 200-yard game in like the second half of, I forgot who they were playing, but he went crazy. So he still has something left. I don't know exactly what his worth is or what he's looking for, as far as contract or how long, the length of the contract, guaranteed money, and all of that. But he definitely can help a team. Not as number one option, but definitely as an option. I don't think he should follow Aaron Rodgers wherever he goes, though. I will say that. I think they should just I think he should be smart about the quarterback that he does play with, but I also think that this Aaron Rodgers shit, like, just break it. Break it, go different ways, try something different. When people been bringing up the Packers, I really would like that fit. They have enough pieces around him at receiver, where he technically would be treated as number one guy, obviously just because of history and everything. But I do like the pieces around him in the running game there. So I do like the Packers fit. If he were to go back there, I think he'd be a good fit with Jordan Love too. So I am interested to see where Devontae Adams does end up. Tyler Lockett, good career in Seattle. I don't really know exactly where he goes from here. He's still a productive wide receiver, obviously, but his time was over. We saw it towards the end of last season. We knew one of them at least had to go out of those three receivers in Seattle. And it looks like it might be two of them. Seattle has a lot of stuff to figure out on the offensive side for sure.
DK, I feel like it's probably a little. I feel like there's a little bit of jealousy there in terms of why he wants to leave. He sees his guys he's coming with. Debo being somebody that's gotten to multiple championships. Obviously, not won one, but Terry McLaurin. It looks like things are coming up. For them. In terms of the Washington Commanders. AJ Brown, his former teammate at Ole Miss, just won a championship, went to another one. Paris Campbell, another guy that he came in with in the draft. Obviously, I'm not saying he does Paris Campbell, but did just win a championship as well. Miko Hardman, another guy that has been to won multiple championships, same draft class. So, in terms of maybe one more from a winning perspective, I could see him looking around the league and looking at his peers that he kind of came in with and being like, Terry McLaurin's got a quarterback that he feels like now, he's going up, whereas Seattle's kind of in a position where I do think Geno's good, but Geno's not great, and we still, we've been looking for that next guy, for a little minute here. It's getting to a point where if Geno does, whatever happens with Geno, because there's been rumors about Seattle not keeping Geno or moving on from him for the past couple seasons, now I'm in a position where there's no quarterback here, and where do we go from here? So I could see that kind of being it, but I think I think all of them, should be looking to go to New England. I've been, saying New England needs a number one receiver for a couple years now, but if you want to get with a young quarterback or somebody that appears to have a future, obviously Drake May has shown something. So put some guys around him. Maybe things look a little different. I don't know, Devontae Adams. I like Devontae Adams a lot, so I don't want it to come off like I don't like the dude, but he probably got to stop all the talking like he's some mercenary, like he's Deion Sanders that could just go anywhere, and he's gonna they're gonna be a Super Bowl contender. He's been doing a lot of interviews like, oh, I could go here and we'll be, nah, bro, like you need to do what's best for you, do a smart thing. Do the smart thing. Get with a good team. Get with a good quarterback where you feel like you guys can actually compete. Even if it is sticking with Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers somehow ends up on like the 49ers or something, or a team that, I do think the Giants would. If you want to go to the Giants, I'm not saying that they would compete. Roster wise, once again, getting from paper to field is another thing, but roster wise, that roster would be pretty solid if you can get a decent Aaron Rodgers, and then Devontae Adams just has to be a good number two.
I don't like that for the simple fact is I didn't like it this past year with Garrett Wilson. Like I just feel like that kind of when you bring him and Rodgers together, that stunts the growth of a receiver, a young receiver that's trying to establish themselves. Like you seen how Garrett Wilson was going off last year. He was pissed. And whether you can say that's Aaron Rodgers' fault or that's Devontae Adams, it for sure it elevated when Devontae got there.
I'm sure it did.
Neighbors real worse than that. Like, he can get worse.
I also think that Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers had been kind of having issues. I mean, they've been like bickering, or there was multiple reports throughout the past couple off seasons of them like going back and forth, and then all of a sudden they got on the same page, and so maybe that was just something that was always there.
No, I mean that makes sense.
That's a good point, because they did spend multiple seasons together instead of like it being like, because Garrett Wilson was like when Aaron Rodgers first got there, he was on that thing where it's like
Aaron Rodgers got hurt though.
I'm glad he's here.
And then Aaron got hurt, so I mean maybe that changes some things, and then the frustration of the season. I don't know. But, with Malik, I mean, they have both. I'm just operating under the impression that they'd also trade up for the first round pick or first overall pick. Both Cam Ward and Malik Neighbors have said that they're fans of Aaron Rodgers now. Meeting your heroes or whatever, how that saying goes.
Yeah.
I don't know how that is, but, and I also think Malik Neighbors is a completely different dog than Garrett. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Garrett, but I think Malik Neighbors is a
And
dog.
he get pissed too, bro.
Garrett was a dog too, but he might be like a medium-sized dog. It's a Great Dane. But and I also think that you could do a little bit more with Malik Neighbors in terms of his versatility, and a full off season as opposed to coming in mid-season and acting like you're about to go to the Super Bowl when you're like 3-6 is probably a lot.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Such a bad. Oh man, that was so bad, so bad.
Sick. But yeah, man, we got. No news with Myles Garrett, but we did get news with another defensive end pass rusher and Max Crosby signing an extension. And laughing at Cass for thinking that the Falcons was going to get Max Crosby, but hey.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, everybody. No, go ahead.
Don't get on everybody that who.
What you mean who? Who? Now who?
Who?
I said go ahead, man. I said don't get me started.
Who? The only person that realistically was Justice Simmons, and we did not get that nigga, obviously. So
who got him?
And what I say about it?
I'm just asking who got him. Who ended up getting him?
What I say about it?
Who got him? I don't know.
We know where he wanted to go.
Oh, okay, all right.
We know. We know what the GM. We know what the GM over there. He digging in his ass or something. We know where he really wanted to go.
All right, I hear you.
But we'll see. Hey, we'll see. But with that being said, obviously he did get a good contract extension. He's been clamoring for Aaron Rodgers as well. Obviously, it's one thing to say in an interview as opposed to really want to. It would be interesting to see if Aaron Rodgers does go to the Raiders and what Devontae Adams.
He going back to the Raiders. You already know.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
If he does that,
that would be crazy,
bruh. If he does that, all you can do is just shake your head at that nigga, because, bruh, like, come on.
It is new leadership. It is Pete Carroll there. It is new GM. I get it. What's his name? Spytek, but. Nah, you can't go back there. After you
requested the leadership, nah.
You can't go back there.
Nah. But and then finally, the Cowboys. Cowboys have been making some noise, restructuring some deals. They just signed their defensive tackle, Osa.
Odigizua.
I don't want to.
Odigizua.
Yeah. But got him signed to a big contract.
Yeah.
There's been rumors that they're going to cut Trayvon Diggs. So. Do you guys think that would be a good move for them, or how do y'all feel about that?
I mean, from the rumors in general, it seems like it's the same, like, kind of weird, toxic situation like his brother was going through back in Buffalo. But a lot of people are saying that, he didn't really take his rehab. Yeah, his rehab like he should have. And that could become a sticky situation where, you arguing back and forth like, oh no, I did what I was supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, he didn't look right this year. He came back after, being a top corner in the league for a couple years, and he came back and it didn't look good. He looked like he lost a step completely, like not half. He looked like he lost a step. Like,
yeah.
He still got his. I could tell he still got his like mental like awareness and abilities, but it just feels like his body's not where it should be. So I mean, maybe a good off season and a good training session and a good rehab maybe can help him out. But I think at this point where Dallas is going, they're trying to get right. They're trying to accept people who want to be there, and if he doesn't want to be there, I'm willing to bet they will let him go at this point. I mean, that's like you said, Shai. I mean, they haven't been doing this a couple years, but now they restructuring, signing guys early, so maybe they're trying to push get a big free agent signing. At this point, they want to cut ties with Trayvon, and it does help to have Deron Bland with you. So you got a all pro corner. So hey, make use of your draft.
I think DeRon Bland is the reason why they kind of feel better about moving off of Diggs. If he doesn't, I think it was reported that they're trying to get him to accept a pay cut, or they want to. I don't know how they're going to do it, but like you said, Chris, he didn't look right. He didn't look right. He didn't look worth the money. And if there are problems with his work ethic and his rehab process, I think they have no problem moving off of him. Now they have been making a lot of moves. And then you got Jerry Jones coming out today and saying that he's not looking to fill holes through free agency. Maybe it's cap. I mean, who knows how Jerry's thinking, but it's like, why are you pulling the trigger on these restructures so soon if you're not planning on doing something? Because you didn't necessarily need to do that for Micah's extension, not both of them, not Dax and CDs, to extend Micah, but we'll kind of see how that all shakes out going forward. But yeah, I mean, with Max Crosby making 35.5, APY now, like Micah's obviously going to get higher than that, 36, 37, however it's going to end up APY. We'll see what the guarantee money looks like, but it's still a lot of capital they got to put towards Michael Way, and he sees this and I mean, we'll see how long it takes. Hopefully, it doesn't drag out, But knowing the Cowboys, it probably will. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, with Diggs, I think they have no problem moving on from him. I mean, I understand it.
And I think a lot of that didn't. I think some of that had to do with Michael, but more so like trying to get back the Marcus Lawrence. If they do re-sign Rico Dowdle, just bringing some back their guys back. But I did also see a rumor that possibly they are interested in trying to go after Shavard Swords. So somebody that started with Dallas initially before he went to Kansas City. So maybe that's a possibility. Cutting Diggs, still signing D-Loss, maybe signing Rico Dowdle, and then being able to replace Diggs with a top corner as well. That has some familiarity, but Diggs. I mean, it is interesting to see the two brothers on the top of the world maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, and now both kind of at a low point in their careers where Stephon Diggs was about to start his first year of his multi-year contract, and they obviously did whatever they did to restructure it and make it a 1-year contract for him. He tears his ACL. Then his brother obviously tore his ACL, and he did get his big contract after that, but still, now we're a season into it, and both of you guys are on the block and have some on-field concerns in terms of what their future is, and clearly one of them has some off-the-field concerns as well. Fuck with Offset, you better stop playing with that man.
hey.
He start pulling up on you. But yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see what both of them do, because if they do both end up on the open market, will they go and play for the same team? That would be something that would be pretty cool, especially if they are able to, I don't want to say revitalize their career, because it's not like it's over, but bring back to relevance. But yeah, man, let's get into the combine. Obviously, there's a lot of rumors for people that are currently in the NFL, but for the young guys coming into the league or trying to get into the league, we had a few standouts athletically with Nick Manawari, the safety from South Carolina. Obviously, we had a couple receivers run really well. A lot of people ran really well, but we also had a couple receivers say they were going to break the 40-yard dash record.
Damn, what?
Did not come close at all. Which it's funny because didn't he have the highest top speed?
Yeah, I think they say he had hit 24
in the 40s.
Yeah,
I think he hit 25. Honestly, I could be wrong on that, but man, what you guys think of the combine? Everything that kind of happened, and was there anybody that you guys were like happy to see kind of test the way they did it, or disappointed?
I mean, I like the combine. Obviously, the 40 times are the one that a lot of people look at. It was a deep running back class, which is good to see the resurgence of the running back. But Yeah.
Pretty fast running backs too. Like
Um,
all of them were.
but I'm just disappointed with the amount of people not, doing the combine, man. I mean, I get it to an extent, but as a team, that gotta tell me something. Like, you rather go to the pro day, which you using your receivers that obviously know you personally and know, like, the combine is there to designed to showcase your ability to do stuff on the fly. You being able to throw to a receiver you never thrown to, like can you still put the ball placement? Because they could tell even the receiver didn't do what they're supposed to do, drop the ball, where they know, okay, such put the ball where it's supposed to be. He did what he's supposed to do. The receiver messed up, whatever the case may be. But I just think it's a shame that I understand like certain like skipping certain drills, maybe a 40 time or whatever, but to completely say nah, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't know if the NFL can do anything about that. There's got to be some kind of something, but I can't think of anything that they could do to prevent that. But I think that that's probably the most disheartening thing about the combine. It's just the amount of players, and it's only gonna get worse from here, if you ask me. I think every year is just gonna be more and more top of the line people that people are already rated to be top 10 picks saying, nah, I'm not doing it. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. Nah, I don't want to do it, and just do interviews. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Which is unfortunate because, like, as you see year after year, these guys are getting way more athletic. Way more athletic. And you saw from, like, even the O-linemen this year, which, like, we'll see how, how they shake out in the league. And of course, this is it's rumored that, a lot of the offensive tackles in this class are going to be converted to guards in the league and all that stuff. But still, like, they were testing under the fives in the 40 time. Like, they were flying. And these guys are getting more athletic. And when you don't have it available for everybody to watch, and some pro days are televised, some are not, you don't get really official times. You get a range of times because everybody measures it differently apparently at pro days. So it gets a little convoluted.
And then one more thing.
So I'm with you on that.
The other thing about it is, like, you have to be invited to the combine. There are plenty of players that would love to get to the combine that can't get there. You got invited and said, I don't want to do it no more. I mean, I don't know if there a way you can be like, okay, well, we rescind your invite. Let's give it to somebody else. Like, that's what I think.
Yeah, let me know now if you're gonna work out.
Right.
We got somebody else that's ready to work out in front of everybody.
You go ahead.
No, that's a great point. I'll run through position. Well, I'll kind of skip quarterbacks, but as far as the receivers, like I said, like these guys are getting way more athletic. Like, a lot of them is. I know the past couple of seasons, like, it's making it look like 4.4s is slow. We're still running 4.4s very fast. And we had a guy do that at 6'4". Jaden Higgins, he's gonna be a dog. I can't wait to see where he goes. But, like, it's the receivers. I think the cornerback had the fastest run, Maxwell Harrison, at 4.28 or 4.29, whatever it was. So again, like, you're seeing these guys fly. I do like the whole process of it. Of course, I watch every day of it pretty much. And the stuff I've kind of missed, like when I was out doing stuff, I did watch the highlights. So I'm really tapped in with it. I do like the production of it. I like the interviews that they have on the sidelines. I still like DJ and Rich in the booth talking about the players. And of course, DJ Dan Jeremiah is really tapped in on all of this. He's really locked in on his notes, so he's getting everybody a glimpse of it. I think that's more of what it's for, just an introduction. A lot of people don't watch college football, obviously, throughout the season, or know a lot of these guys that are invited there. So you definitely get like an introduction in a way. So I still like everything about the combine, but I'm with you, Chris. Like, I wish we got to see Aston Genty kind of measure up against these other guys at this combine. And I get like some of them had injuries pop up that kind of, limited them, or but like and I get like being selective about it. You had guys like Xavier Restrepo. He didn't run the 40 out of Miami. He didn't run a 40, but he's still being, mocked into the top 3 rounds, top 2 rounds. But I don't know if that's scared. I don't know what it is, or you need some more time to get right. So you want to do your pro day in April. I don't know, but it got something got to shake though, because like it is setting a bad precedent where you're going to end up having a lot of people invited to this combine that don't end up doing anything, and that is not good at all.
Yeah, it does suck, and it's also just like like I said before, it's just like last year, it's like compete. Like why are
Yeah.
y'all scared to compete? At the end of the day, you know, and there's people that said we know why Shador wouldn't want to throw against if Cam threw or which I get it to an extent, but it's also like you know Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud just went through. Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, Will Levis through. CJ Stroud was the one that was super accurate, but in terms of if we're just talking about looks and how it looks, CJ Stroud would never look better than Anthony Richardson throwing a football. He's never going to look better. Will Levis. I mean, we saw all the videos of that quick release. The ball's coming out. It's quick. Look, he might not look better. So I mean, it's just like I guess you could say the velocity, how the ball comes out, the velocity of it. But there's ways for him to shine. I think that CJ Stroud, I think everybody kind of came away, loving CJ Stroud as opposed to those guys that had the big arms, because CJ Stroud was able to show, his quick feet, was able to show the quick release, the accuracy. So like, I don't see why Shador wouldn't have been able to do the same thing, but just compete. Like, at the end of the day, at this point, I would say that fans are a little bit smarter in terms of how the NFL goes about things. Is your draft stock tanking? No. Like, it's not like we may have used to think that 15 years ago when we didn't have all the information and
Exactly.
your national media draft stock may be tanking, but that's where your draft stock was the entire time, and we are just catching up on it, because the media's mock and their big boards is way different from what teams look at, and obviously teams will have it differently compared to what specific measurements that they like for their specific players and specific positions. There's thresholds that certain coaches have. There's different things that they look for in terms of, size, stature, speed, different stuff. There's been things that have been released, like what Bill Belichick used to like about defensive backs. Like they had to be able to play man. If they weren't good at man, they didn't even get on the board for them. So it's like, just stuff like that. It looks different for everybody. So, I'm just like compete. At the end of the day, even Nick Amanawari, he didn't even do the field drills, so everybody's going crazy over his 40 time.
But I want to see him do that because I want to see how he turns.
I want to see more important
exactly.
Because bruh stiff as hell on
exactly.
I'm just joking. But it would have been nice to see, because that is some questions that people have had is how is he more stiff? Because if you look, the typical fan's not paying for film. So you look at some of his highlights. If you go look at his highlights in some of the interceptions and stuff he's had, it looks like a linebacker. It doesn't really look like a free safety or a guy that you might think is running a 4.3, is rangy, something like that. So maybe they pigeonhole him into a strong safety position. So, I mean, it's like, you would just like to see it. But if you're comfortable enough to do it at the Pro Bowl, why not be comfortable enough to do it
at the Pro Day? Exactly. And then you got a player, for instance, Tez Johnson, right? Mentored in at 154 pounds, ran a 4.5. And do you think that really hurt his draft stock? Like, let's be honest. No, because you had people coming out to his defense, obviously, after he has game speed. Like, everybody said,
he had a hell of a
he just has game speed. He has game speed.
Senior Bowl,
the field work.
That's Senior Bowl as well.
Senior Bowl.
So it's like, just go out and just compete. Just see what you got against everybody else. Like, it's not going to hurt you. It didn't hurt Ted Johnson that bad that he ran a 4.5, 4.51, 4.55 in his 40s. It is what it is. Like, I mean, he's the tape does speak for itself. I get why they're saying like, oh, I just leave it up to the tape. Like, tape shows you. But at the same time, you're in a position where you, like, I don't know. I feel like I would go out there and, as an athlete, I feel like I want to go in.
I just want to and also, I guess this also, I mean, a lot of this is just old man, us coming from our, how we grew up and how things were, and, old man screaming at the cloud. But, at the same time, is like, the NFL Combine, and this goes with a lot of the conversation that people are having about the NBA and nostalgia and stuff like that. But the or the NFL Combine used to have like a lore, like it used to be something that was sacred and like special that people wanted to go to, wanted to perform at, and where you would make a name for yourself. And like we still see it an extent, but like you see when the guys have those legendary combine workouts, that's something that's talked about for forever, and like that was something
And
that used
clipped
to
up,
be like that was something that used to be looked forward to and sacred, and something that the people used to the players used to look forward to, and maybe with them now having a little some more money, more access to different things, maybe that stuff is a little less sacred, and so maybe there needs to be a new thing. But I guess I really am sounding like old man because we're losing recipes.
I mean,
we're losing
and the thing
recipes,
is,
and
it ain't nothing like out the ordinary. You know what the drills are. You know what you about to do. You don't have.
the
You're
drills are
not
well in
playing
advance.
against a defender. You're not playing against an offensive player. It's the typical drills you already know. If you felt bad about it, you got months to train to do the damn drills. If that's the you gonna like. I don't know.
I was a little disappointed. I know, like, and I think Michael Williams was battling an injury throughout the season, so maybe he was injured, maybe he hasn't fully healed yet. But I wanted to see the Georgia boys. I wanted to see Jalen Walker, kind of like what he. I want to see Michael Williams, but it's like, and these are guys that are mocked into like the top half of the draft. People that that fans really want to see, like, what you about. And like, of course, Georgia's pro day is going to be televised. I get it, but at the same time, I still want to see it. At the combine.
And the thing about it is, even when the pro days are televised, it's not like they're really showing the drills.
They don't. Yeah,
it's mostly just talking, and
it's very true.
They might show you like a quarterback's drills, but the quarterback throwing for a little bit, but they're going to show you a couple 40s, and then they're going to keep pushing, really.
That's facts.
But I mean, it would have been nice to see. And the funny thing about it is, the person that probably, I know that he's been falling in mocks for whatever reason, but the person who really could have just sat there and been like, look at the film is the one that worked out, Malachi Starks.
He did everything.
And people have been trying to come and say that his film this past year wasn't as great or whatever, and then the man immediately does the field work and immediately looks like the best player by far, in my opinion. I mean, he was the cleanest one,
cleanest safety, yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, this is the guy. I mean, even back to high school, Malachi Starks was a 5-star. He was like the top 5 player in the nation as a high schooler. So like, I don't know, and he still went out and competed. So I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. But it would be nice. It just would be nice to see. It would be nice to see what Travis Hunter runs. It would be nice to see what Ashton Jeanty, how he lines up, not only against his peers now, but like historically looking, and like the people that you looked up to, how do you measure up against them in terms of your stature and stuff like that, and like how you ran, how you jumped. I don't know. I think that stuff's cool. I don't know. Like I said, maybe that stuff's a little bit less sacred to them. But I feel like there was a point in time where athletes looked forward to stuff like that. So
this will be annoying as hell when Colorado has their pro day next month, and you see
it's just gonna be Deion.
It's gonna be a whole spectacle. It's gonna be a spectacle, and I get it. And then, like I said, like, Travis Hunter running 4.38 on this time. Oh, he ran a 4.32. It's gonna be just a bunch of cap shit. Like let's put it all. It's like let's put it all like on the field at the combine where it's supposed to be, in my opinion. But let's see how that goes.
Yeah, but with that being said, Monday starts basically starts the real new season with the illegal tampering period that begins on Monday, and then obviously free agents can officially sign on Wednesday, which marks the new league year. People start getting their bonuses, contracts start vesting, and people start getting officially cut, trades officially go through. On Monday, is there anybody that you guys think or any out of the top free agents that you guys think is going to land somewhere? What's a prediction that you guys have, if you have?
It's looking like Sam Darnold's going back to the Vikings. Looks like there's some momentum there. I don't know. It is it's tough to see exactly where his fit is or how he feels about it, because at the same time, if you're him, how confident are you, honestly, how confident are you that you could go to a different system and thrive like you did this season? And I think that does in a way play a part in his decision this offseason of where he goes. So you don't just want to go anywhere. I mean, I get the money is the money, but if it's close, if the money is still like, okay, it's enough for me to, to work with, I don't see why you would go somewhere else if the Vikings are willing to keep you on. I do get like you're then in a situation where you kind of looking behind your back and it's like, okay, JJ McCarthy's healthy, like
I really don't think he's going back to the Vikings, honestly.
Why do you think that?
I mean, that's fair.
I ain't gonna lie. If he was going back, I think they would have franchise tagged him. You would have franchise tagged him, continue to work on the contract as opposed to letting him test the open market. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't, not a quarterback, especially not a quarterback if you're gonna play around with it.
I get that. I mean, I'm other than that, I'm interested to see where like a Justin Fields goes. Of course, there's been rumors about him linked to. He's been linked back to the Steelers. He's been linked to the Jets. So we'll kind of see how that kind of shakes out, how much money he would make.
Let's stay there for a second.
Okay.
Because how do y'all feel about that? I mean, if he does go back to Pittsburgh,
without Russ being there,
if either or.
I mean, in my opinion, he will only go back there if Russ is not there. And then at that point, I feel like they're making him the starter. So, I mean, why wouldn't you stay or go back there? If Russ is going to be there, I mean, what is realistically his options? Seriously, what is his options?
Russ?
No.
For us?
Who we talking about? Yes.
Oh, for Fields?
The New York Jets and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think those are pretty much only two options there.
If those fall through, then the Colts. But
I don't even see that really. Money, so. Yeah, I don't even see that.
I mean,
but that's why I said if it falls, the Colts would basically be if every other option was gone, like immediately. I know a lot of people are like going to use the Colts now because of the quarterback competition comment. They're like every quarterback is linked. Justin Fields not coming to the Colts so, unless everything goes down.
Justin Fields wouldn't even make sense to me to be honest with you from the Colts perspective. I don't know. If you get Justin Fields, stick it out with AR. Figure that shit out. That's just me, but I mean
that would go for any quarterback that you get, really.
I mean, that's fair too, honestly, with y'all situation, yeah. I would lean towards if I'm Justin Fields, I would lean towards going to the Jets over going back to the Steelers. I think that it's much more of a fresh start. Like you showed a little bit last season. Of course, you did get benched for Russ throughout the past 10 games it was, whatever. But it is a little bit of a fresh start. It does show a sense of belief that a new team is coming to get you, and I think that does make you feel better if you're in his situation. And then you're in a situation also where the Jets are picking 7th. We don't know exactly how it will shake up, but maybe they do take a quarterback if something happens in the draft. But maybe they don't. Maybe they're just putting their stock in you, and they probably will. Yeah, I get it, but maybe they don't.
No, I'm saying they're probably not going to take a quarterback.
Oh, at all in this draft at any point?
Not in the first round, at least.
Yeah, but
unless Cam Ward were to drop to them, I don't think they'll take him in the first round.
Yeah, but I would lean towards the Jets if I was Justin Fields opposed to going back to Pittsburgh. I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do at quarterback. That's a whole nother situation there, but
and that's really what I was saying. Because,
yeah.
Like you said, you did get benched for Russell Wilson, so you benched a quarterback and you're going to go back to the backup and not. They're both open. They're both available. You sign. So like if the Colts bench, Anthony Richardson, and then they're both available, and you go with Joe Flacco. I don't know. I can't. I'm fucking.
If they roll with Joe Flacco the rest of the season,
and
then they go back to AR next season.
It just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know what Pittsburgh's doing.
yeah. Honestly.
And it's been something that has been talked about. We've talked about it. Other people talk about it. They probably do need to open up the TJ Watt sweepstakes because it's tough. It's tough. You're never going to crater, and unless Justin Fields. But I also find it hilarious. And maybe it's not that funny, but everybody's talking about Justin Fields again. Like he is like, the guy, like this prized possession. No disrespect to him, but damn, you did just get benched.
But he didn't. But I think what people are saying, I could be wrong, but he didn't really lose his job. They was just never going to give it to him, in my opinion. It was never his job.
He lost.
It was never his job. That's how I look at it. It was never his. If Russ wouldn't got hurt, he was never going to play. He played good. He played well enough to have them where they at, and Russ didn't do no better, if you ask me.
I understand that, but he did also have you start off 3-0. So for the fact that they still brought in Russ, and then they to Russ's credit, they did go on that scoring run where they had like 3, 4, 5 straight games where they were getting like 30, 40 points. Then at like 7 straight games.
Then they started playing division games. Yeah.
And you still didn't bring him, in. That to me is kind of hard.
I know. I get what you're saying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I was
shit.
To go back to use Georgia as an example. Everybody had been talking about UGA. Everybody had been talking about Carson Beck's the worst thing ever. Worst thing in the world. He did lead the SEC in picks. And all season, despite having games where he had like 3, 4 picks, they not once put in Gunnar Stockton, who's a third-year player. It's not like he was he's not like people. I think a lot of people thought that he was a freshman. He was a third-year player, and they still not once decided to put him in. Not once. Like, that is very telling. So, same thing about Justin Fields, I feel like, in this position. Like, it's very telling that they didn't put you in. And now they're talking about bringing you back. I don't know. It's a little weird. If I was him, I would try to go. I understand the allure of going to the Jets and getting a starting spot. I would look, and I've said this a couple times about a couple of people, but I'm looking at what the Rams got going on, and I'm like, look, I'll take a little less to possibly be the future of the Rams with Sean McVay. Matthew Stafford is not long for the Rams. We know that. We see that.
Very clear.
He said that. They've all said it.
Yeah.
Why would I not see if, maybe I take a 1-year deal, take a little bit less. I'm the backup. I get to work with Sean McVay the entire season. If it doesn't end up working out or like they decide to not move forward, I'm still going to get that like Sean McVay, like, I was a quarterback for Sean McVay, so somebody's gonna
pick you up next season because of that.
Yeah. But also if they do, they're like, okay, we see we can work with this kid, like we can do something, we can, try to fix whatever is broken. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. So be person, But Chris, in terms of you got anybody that you think's gonna sign the first day?
I think, obviously a lot of people probably going to sign for that, but this just being a home, I'm just interested to see who ends up signing, like, Milton Williams and Joshua and how much they're going to pay for them. I'm happy to see them boys get their money. They're homegrown. That's what kind of, sucks about the situation of letting them go. But I know I'm pretty sure Milton probably be one of the first people to get signed. And they're going to throw a bag at him. That's for sure. That's for shit. So that same thing happened with Javon Hargrave when he left us. He was one of the first to be signed, and he got a big bag. So
he's back on Kamara.
He is, but that's one person I'm definitely interested to see who picks him up.
There's not a lot of there's some good players in free agency, but there isn't like one that's like. For instance, last year, of course, there was the Kirk Cousins of it all. There was the Christian Wilkins, like players like that. It's like, where are they going to go? They're going to change some shit. I don't really feel like that for this crop. Of course, we talked about the receivers with Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. You got the older receivers there, so it's like, okay, where are they going to go to kind of finish their careers off? Khalil Mack is older. It's a lot of older,
I think
older
this crop
guys.
Is more, so it's names we recognize, but we kind of also recognize where they at, sort of, in their careers. And it's like, I mean, are they going to be a difference maker? Or are they really going to change the franchise right now? I mean,
and I think because my favorite player in this free agency period is probably one of my favorite players is Byron Murphy Jr. out of Minnesota. I think they're going to end up re-signing him. They should. But I am interested to see. He's one of the top corners in the league, in my opinion. Top 15, top 10 corner, actually, in my opinion. So I do want to see where he ends up, kind of. Yeah. He had a big season, though. Coming off a Pro Bowl season.
Okay. We have gone too far here.
How?
Top 10 corner. He's not even the top corner on the market. What are you talking about?
No, he's not the top corner on the market, but he's still a top
corner.
Bro, Byron Murphy had a great season this season. What do you mean?
Nigga, if he's not the top corner on the market, on the
he's
free agent
paid
market,
like one.
but you're saying
he's going to get paid like one.
No, he's not.
All right.
No, he's not.
All right.
No,
all right.
What you say he's gonna get paid top 10 cornerback money?
Yeah. Yes.
He's not even. He might not even be top 5 available cornerback this year.
Now that's cap.
Is it? Jair Alexander's available. DJ Reed's yes, he is. DJ
not
Reed
yet.
is
Not yet.
Yes, he is, because they've already said that he's available for trade, so he's still available.
Yeah, he's okay.
DJ
For
Reed,
trade, not for
Tavares Ward, Paulson Adebo. I
would say Byron Murphy or Paulson Adebo.
Carlton Davis.
Carlton Davis is okay.
They call him Grave Digger.
What
they call him, Shine Grave Digger.
You wildin'. You wildin' on that.
I don't think you gotta put some respect. I'm telling you, he would get top 10 money at cornerback this all season. And we can revisit it next week.
We can revisit it
next week.
All right. Nigga, not top 15, top 10. No.
You think he won't get top 15 money? But be for real right now. Like, you see how the market is.
We can look at the contracts right now.
Bro.
Let's look it up right now.
Yeah, let's look it up.
This nigga said top 10. Ugh.
What's the 10th cornerback in the league making?
L'Jarius Sneed is the 10th cornerback. He's not making top 10 cornerback.
What is he making? No, what is he making?
19 mil.
I think he gets that.
He's not getting close.
I think he gets that.
You're what?
I think he gets that.
Tavares Ward is at 13.5. I don't think Carlton Davis is at 14.8. I don't. They're not breaking Jalen Johnson at 19 when he was a all-pro player, bro. It's not happening.
Okay, we'll see.
It's like, you're bugging. Top, not even the money aside. Top 10 cornerback was you're wild. You're wild.
I like him as a player.
You're wild.
Okay.
You got too much dip on your chip there.
How's that too much dip, bro? Like, I can see.
If you were acknowledging that he's not a top 5 available on the free agent market,
I said he was.
You said it was a question because I named 4 people.
No, I said he was. I said
Paulson
he was.
Adebo was the only person out of those names,
and that would move into the top 5. Because out of the 5 people you named, if I take one out, it's top 5.
But if it's even a question,
even though he gonna be for 1 year.
No, we're not putting him over 30. No, we're not putting a 34-year-old over him.
Why not? He was better than him last year.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, God.
He's
fine. Nah,
all right, whatever.
Byron Murphy is a solid cornerback. He's a solid cornerback. They don't even view him as a cornerback number 1. He wasn't even cornerback number 1 for the Vikings last year.
Oh, my God. He better get paid like one. That's all I'm saying.
He was their 3rd corner, really.
I got nothing to say about it. I'll say we'll revisit it next week. No, we'll revisit it next week. I'm not capping. DJ Reed 5. I will say that. I fought with DJ Reed too.
Once again, Paulson.
I'm not picking personally. I'm not picking Paulson Adebo over Byron Murphy. And I don't think so.
He's better than him. but we can agree to disagree. Shavarius Ward for sure. Who else I said? DJ Reed, Shavarius Ward.
You said DJ Reed, all right.
Carlton Davis for sure. What's his name? Jair Alexander for sure.
He's not on the market yet.
He is available via trade.
That's not free agency. That's not free agency.
That is still an available player. That is a notable available.
Well, if we talking about available players, we could open that up to a lot of other people too.
No.
He's talking about available.
I'm talking about people that have publicly.
I'm talking about people that's on the free agency right now. That's in the free agency pool right now, and Jair is not there yet, and it's possible that he does not get there.
He's still free. He is available. I said available.
I'm talking about free agency.
He's available.
I'm talking about free agency.
Okay, you cap.
No, I cap. You cap.
It's man. Asante Samuel slipped better than.
No. Stop it. Ain't he coming off an injury? No, let's stop it.
You sick.
All right.
This nigga's on his 3rd team. About to be on his 3rd team.
Okay.
You sick.
Okay.
You sick. But anyway, back to the conversation. We'll see. We will see. If he gets top 10. So you think he's getting 4 years, 19 a year?
I think that's in the cards. The money is going up. It is. That's really what it is.
The money is going up, but you also have to just because the money is going up, that applies to the top of the market. It doesn't apply to the middling folks.
He's not middling. All right, bro.
He's definitely middling. Okay. He's definitely middling. He's not. Regardless of I understand how you feel. He's 100 in terms of how he's viewed. He's definitely middling.
We don't know how he's viewed. We'll revisit it next week and see how he's viewed.
What I could say is he's never made All-Pro. We saw last year an All-Pro cornerback that was on the open market get 19 mil. We saw another guy that didn't make All-Pro in L'Jarius Sneed struggle on the open market because that was a point of contention. I do not think that now he's going to jump the guys that are in the middle, like Shavarius Ward, who is another All-Pro. I don't think he's going to get more money than a guy that's an All-Pro.
We'll see.
We shall. This is going to be up there with your Max Crosby going to the Falcons.
Bro, I wasn't even that deep into that. Like, why you keep bringing that up? What are you talking about, bro?
That's big cap. You was deep into it.
No, I was not deep into it. You're not you capping. All right, bro. We're not even going to do that.
We're going to bring it all up. We're going to bring it all up next week. Next week we need to do a when Colin was wrong.
Well, we can do it when Sean
was wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, we can. I promise you, I hit more than anybody else in this.
No.
100% hit more. We can go back and revisit it. I already have. I promise you.
That's cap. That's cap.
I promise you.
That man called MVP one time. Now he just hit more than everybody.
Yeah, he know. Yeah,
I hit MVP back-to-back years. Actually, I hit MVP back-to-back years.
No,
actually.
But you like the
the divisions. You like the divisions. Hit the divisions, except for the Colts. Basically,
I won the games back-to-back years. I won back-to-back years.
You did win picks back-to-back years. But if we want to look at the preview, the preseason, I'm just saying. When Shad was wrong, the Colts win a division.
And the Panthers
win a division. Where Shad was right. Falcons.
You weren't right about the Falcons? What are you talking about?
I was. Yes, I was.
You said they gonna win 6 games, be a 3 seed, bro. What are you talking about?
No, I never said 6 games. I said 7 to 8. It'll be a division that's gonna be 7 to 8 games. They won 8 games. They weren't third in the division, but they were damn near close. And so I want to hear.
They're close. All right, bro.
You said the Falcons was gonna be a 2 seed.
I said they're gonna win 10 games. Yes.
You said they were going to be a 2 seed.
Yes.
No. Stick on that.
10 games.
Stick on that.
The records matter.
Didn't you say the Eagles was going to miss the playoffs?
No. Why would I? No. Stop. Now you capping, bro. Now you capping. Bro, you said Chris, did I say that?
He said somebody was going to win
either they're the third seed or they were going to miss the playoffs. Let's go back and look.
I know. You did?
I did have
Back
you.
a look.
Who? I definitely didn't have the Cowboys. So I was 100% y'all. I definitely didn't have the
revisit that.
Cowboys.
We gotta go revisit that.
Oh, we gotta revisit that. We gotta go
I
revisit
definitely
that
had. I
because
definitely
you
had the
had the
Eagles in the playoffs.
Cowboys last year, and I'm revisit
We
that.
revisit it. We revisit it.
When Speak Up was wrong next week, we got it. It's gonna be a funny one.
Nah. We
it's cool.
have to fit that in. There'll be a lot of stuff. A lot of other stuff to talk about too, though.
No,
From
we
free
need
agency.
to. No. We need to nail down a free agent right now, then, so we can add that too. So I'm gonna go Milton Williams to the Panthers. Opening day
To the Panthers. I
to
like
the
that.
Panthers.
So
So that's the one I'm stamping. And matter of fact, I'm actually gonna stamp another one. I'm gonna go offense and defense. Sam Darnold to the Raiders. Not opening day, but that's free agent prediction.
Okay. I like that. Ooh. Now I'm trying to think.
And
Chris, you got any?
don't do any like back to their original.
Maybe not.
That's
So
Maybe
any
not
new
opening
changes?
day, but I got Chris Godwin to the Patriots.
But I wasn't saying that in reference to Cass saying.
I think
Sam Bradford, like,
as far as
I
Chris
wasn't being a
Godwin, it's
dick.
gonna be later in the week after because his injury and stuff. So it's gonna be a little later on. But I think, yep.
Okay. Dang, this yeah. All right. Shit. I'll try to put somewhere for Christian Kirk because there's a lot of teams that I think he'll be solid at. Depending on the quarterback situation, I do want to see what the Steelers do at quarterback first, but I'm gonna go Christian Kirk to the Steelers.
See you.
I hate that for Christian though. I hate that
that's
for
fair.
Christian.
That's fair.
Well, and I wonder just openly speaking on it, I do wonder how Roman Wilson looks with them next year in terms of like, is that something that's in their plans or,
That's a good point.
And I don't, because if they're going to use Roman, how they're going to use Roman, they're going to try to pigeonhole him to a slot because he's a smaller receiver, even though he got a little game,
He got some skills.
Game. But man, we got into a little funny bullshit, but we can go ahead and switch over to the NBA. Obviously, a lot of conversation about the NBA, and we've talked about it so many times. Who wants to be the leader or face of the league, blah blah blah. So we don't really have to get into that. It's at this point the conversation is it's set by a select few in the national media, and it's going to be that way until maybe some louder voices come in. But in terms of how things are looking and shaping up right now, obviously the Lakers have been kind of surging. And are now second in the Western Conference. The Warriors have been surging as well, while the Rockets have been on the Western side, and the Rockets have been kind of free falling. On the Eastern side, everything has kind of basically been the same, with the Pacers really being the biggest team outside of Boston and Cleveland that are kind of surging. How do you guys feel? Number one, we did get the big news about Joel Embiid being out, but I don't know how big that news is at this point because it's kind of like every year thing. But on the outlook of both sides, we can kind of start with the Western Conference. How do you guys think? Damn, I just thought about it.
What?
My guy, Kyrie. I just thought about it again. The image just came in my head. The biggest news. Yeah, man. With the Kyrie news, how do you guys feel about the outlook of the Western Conference and how things will shake out?
Like you said, prayers up to Kyrie. I mean,
Kyrie.
I hate it for him because it's just like it just get amplified the fact that you trade Luka, your pieces come back, he get hurt. The person you say, okay, we get rid of Luka, we still got Kyrie, now he's hurt. And it's just like Kyrie didn't deserve none of that. He didn't do shit. He just out there trying to hoop. It just sucks to see that for him. But I mean, as far as the Western Conference, you still got the Thunder up there, as far as being the top seed. But the Lakers, I mean, hate to admit it, but I mean, they've been showing some stuff lately. They've been their team because fought the Laker weak ass. But they've been putting on a good show. I'm interested to see how it goes in the playoff. Simply because teams are now more focused on you as a team versus we're playing a 82 game season. They don't necessarily have the opportunity to just scout and do what you would do in a playoff scenario. But I mean, obviously you can't count Bron out when it comes to the playoffs either way. But it's interesting to see how the team how the flow of game will go, because I mean they have been playing good defensively, but to be honest with you, it's a farce. Because again, when you get the playoffs and you get the, I'm dead serious. Like ain't nobody going at them like they should be. I seen it. I seen it be done.
I mean, one thing I will say about that is, while I do understand, is it is also harder to go at them when you've got. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith is a great perimeter defender. Jared Vanderbilt is a great perimeter defender. LeBron James, regardless of what people say, is a great perimeter defender and a post defender. I mean, you got a lot of
team,
great perimeter
game planning. You know how to put people in the action, and you can get away from them if you want to. You can easily get away from them if you want to and go at who you're trying to go with.
I think that always sounds good in theory, but in theory, because at the end of the day, like, you could if, like, for instance, people say Luka is a bad defender. You say you want to put Luka in action, but once again, that action changes when you got a guy that can switch off. I mean, because a lot of the NBA is switch. If guys stop forcing the switch, I mean, I just think that I'm not saying that their defense isn't a farce, but what I am also saying is that sometimes also great offense leads to good defense, which is why one of the things that I had said in the past about the Warriors, why I felt the Warriors were so great, dominant defensively, was because they were so potent offensively that those dumbass shots used to go up. I think the Lakers offensively could be that. I'm not saying they will. I think they could be that to where. But yeah,
I do think
but at the same time,
there will be a problem in the West. I am just saying that how great their defense has playing, I don't think it will be to that level. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Number one defense in the league.
Doesn't he saving the NBA, huh?
Yeah, that's definitely not saving the NBA.
That's Who so said crazy. That, that's so crazy to say, bro. I cannot get over that shit. I cannot believe you said that.
I mean, I just feel like we've got to do like some type of cleanse of the media, man. And I'm not even saying that they're bad or anything like that, but it's like, because we've gotten into the take business and and I completely understand. I mean, even I'm sure, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but sometimes it's probably hard if you like start to think back on it. You're like, damn, did I say XYZ before that I want to like continue on, or like am I going like completely opposite of what I've said a week ago, whereas they have to do it every goddamn day. I 100% understand that that's a little difficult, but we do need like a cleanse of just switching up the topics to where it's not, like they said, shitting on the players, or I don't know what it is, but it needs like a cleanse, like it's just a full media cleanse. Because I mean, even to the point where you start looking at these shows on different networks, on YouTube, whether it's on a network, whether it's on YouTube, podcasting, whatever, they even down to the point of them using the same language, like the same wording, the same verbiage. It's like everybody is in that same cocoon and bubble of using the same shit. Even to some of their corny ass jokes on Twitter. I don't know if you got, if you pay attention to some of the jokes, like a lot of the like NFL Twitter, or like draft media, draft Twitter, like some of the jokes they have, it's all the same. It's like, everything needs to like, there just needs to be a cleanse. Like everybody feels like they have to make a Will Levis joke now, or like, if I don't know if you guys ever noticed this trend as well, but let's say today I tweet out, Byron Murphy's a top 15 cornerback. You know, just and I was a respected voice. Now all of a sudden, Daniel Jeremiah's going. I was watching Byron Murphy film, and Byron Murphy has turned. You know, all of a sudden, everybody's starting to watch this film today, and they all have a point to say about Byron Murphy. It's like, bro, no, like you guys didn't feel like what? Why is everybody in this cocoon? I don't know if y'all see that, but I see that all the time, especially the draft. They'll be like, oh yeah, Malachi Starks. I've been watching his film. Now you're gonna see 30 other tweets from people talking about.
Yeah, that draft is ridiculous. Like, the draft is ridiculous, bro, and it's a lot. And you know, I think I watch a lot of mock drafts. I read a lot of mock drafts, but I also think mock drafts are completely pointless because completely pointless, especially before free agency, because you're drafting, you're mocking these people to draft off needs when that's not really how it is realistically. So all these mock drafts that have been coming out, it's like, oh, they need this, and it's like, okay, well, let's just wait until free agency. Let's wait to see what kind of shakes out until we get to late April. But anyway, yeah, I know it's a lot of groupthink with that for sure.
It's definitely a lot of groupthink.
It's a lot of groupthink with that for sure. Yeah.
And I mean and I use the NFL as an example, but that goes to the NBA too, because now JJ Redick is the coach of the year, and he was, it's so tired. Like, it's so tiresome. Nobody, it seems like everybody is just regurgitating the same information, and it's either like you have the
OKC's youth. That's all you hear now. Okay, man, come on now.
Somebody said, I don't think, I forget who it was. They were like, I don't know if Memphis can do it because they're too young. I'm like, dog, Memphis is not young. Like, what are you talking about? They've been in these dog fights for years. So it's like, it's just regurgitation of the same shit over and over and over again. It's like, golly, nobody's thinking for themselves anymore. And it's like, it starts with the Stephen A. at her first take. But it's like everybody's split down the middle in terms of you're either like a Stephen A. thinker or you're like a Skip thinker. And it's like, if you really think about it, like everybody kind of falls in that line. Like, and then if you look at all these shows, like there's like a Stephen A. side of the thinkers, and then there's the Skip side of the thinkers that'll say some outlandish bullshit. And it's just, I don't know. It's a lot. I'm just saying. I'm telling y'all.
Nah.
It's a hive mind.
I like that one. But to get back to the NBA and the West, it does suck for Kyrie. We did talk about it though. Like, health is a big part of what will make that trade work from Dallas side, and you saw it instantly when Anthony Davis went down the second half of the first game, and then it's unfortunate what happened to Kyrie. Of course, nobody thought that he would tear his damn ACL. That's just a different level, but it puts them in a bind because like you do it late in the season. This is March where he tore it. So it's like, okay, you're looking at 9 to 12 months. You're looking at after All-Star break. At All-Star break, probably at the earliest, where realistically you can talk about him getting back into the rotation. And by that point, the All-Star break is so late in the season, it's not even halfway through. It's like 50 games in. So you only got like 25, 28 games left after that. It's going to be where's Dallas going to be in the season, in the standings next season. It really messes them up. Of course, we talked about them getting, I think it was the last pod, we talked about them getting Kevin Durant possibly in the summer. Wow, why would Kevin Durant go there now if he got
I still think, AD shit. Niggas is down on AD.
I get what you're saying, but I'm like, if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm not going to sign up for that situation because that's kind of what Kyrie did.
What other situations when Kevin Durant was hurt? Up for?
Huh?
So what other situations is Kevin Durant signing up for?
I mean,
he about to be like Devontae Adams in my book.
That's a fair point.
Talking like he a mercenary in reality.
That's a fair point. I can't say nothing about that one. But as far as the state of the West, though, I mean, you got the Golden State Warriors. They're on a little, they're up at the 6th seed right now, so they fought their way back in. It looks like they're probably going to make the playoffs. But again, that's how much is that? Just Dallas slumping, Phoenix slumping, the Clippers slumping compared to how good they actually are. So we'll see kind of what shakes with Golden State. But the top 5 seeds in the West, they all have different elements that you do like. But I do still feel like OKC's got the mantle there. We'll see how it shakes out. But it's hard to deny what OKC's doing. Of course, they have a couple of games where it's like, oh, okay, what's going on there? Like, they had to slip up last week when they went against Minnesota, but that was just a damn good game by Minnesota. Compared to like OKC slipping.
They
So
all had that stank mouth after two, like dumb as hell.
But I think it is shaping up for OKC to come out of the West. So I think this will end up being their year. Even though I don't know preseason I did pick Denver to come out of the West, which I mean, but it is looking like OKC's year though, for sure, in the West.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be. I think it will all. I mean, like it always does. I do think that it would come down to matchups. I will say that I have a hive mind thought here. If it did come down to OKC Lakers, I think it would be a sweep. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think OKC has a shot.
You think the Lakers would sweep them?
I think they will beat the shit out them boys. I ain't gonna lie, because they ain't got nobody that can handle Luka, and damn sure don't got nobody that can.
For sure, how I'm thinking, bro.
Everybody else,
bro. The last 5 years, every time I hear this, Lakers get this certain matchup, they gonna whoop. They don't never get to that matchup, so that shit don't matter. That shit don't matter. They never gonna. It do.
You can't say.
They will never get to the matchup we talking about.
You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that because they did win a championship.
They not sweeping.
They did win a championship. They did get to a championship the year that they went. And the year that they went to the conference finals against the only team that's beaten them is Denver. The only team that's beaten the Lakers.
Denver only won one championship. So what that tell me? They won't beat nobody else. In this time frame, you talking about they only won one championship.
I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that because that's the same thing. That's the same thing that you had an issue with when people were talking about Boston and Boston's matchups in terms of how they always had issues with Miami when it was really only like a one-time thing.
No, I'm not. They do have issues with Miami. What are you talking about? We lost to them in the bubble. We beat them next year, then we lost to them again, then we lost them. Like we lost them 3 times.
Okay.
Miami did have a number.
Sure.
But that's not. So if I'm like, if everybody is saying, hey, the Lakers have everybody else's number,
but
they
I also
don't have
never
Denver's
said
number,
that we wouldn't lose to anybody else but Miami. I just said Miami for sure has our number. I never said if we didn't play Miami, we would have whooped the fuck out of everybody. No, I never said that. I just know if we play Miami, we have our problem.
You might not have said that.
No, because every team we played Milwaukee, we go 7 games with them. We play the Sixers, we have went 6 to 7 games. We don't blow people out. So I never said that. We don't do that. Neither does the Lakers, but apparently they do it.
Lakers sweeping OKC kind of crazy to me. I don't know.
I think they would sweep the fuck out of them boys. I mean, hey, didn't Luka just put them out of 6?
Luka, but that's different though. It's a different squad. It's a totally different squad.
Who's a totally different squad?
That Luka's on now.
Okay, so who do you add?
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Okay.
That's not the point.
I'm not talking crazy now. They could not do nothing with Luka last year, and they couldn't do nothing with Kyrie. I promise you, they ain't gonna be able to do nothing with LeBron. But
you think OKC beats everybody else except for Lakers in the West?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the East.
So who else? Who would they not beat? So if you disagree,
no, I think OKC would beat everybody in the West. I think they come out the West. I think whoever they match up with, they will beat.
Well, I mean, okay, well, I guess.
What you mean?
I hear you. I guess it don't come down to matchups no more. But hey,
it does in most cases. But I'm saying OKC is looking a little like we'll see. But I would if I were to say if anybody in West is kind of matchup proof, it'll be OKC. So it's like they're just a better team than everybody else.
See, you're adding stuff. I didn't say the Lakers were matchup proof. I talked specifically about one matchup.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying there's not one matchup that I would say that anybody has that advantage over OKC. That's just me. We'll see though.
Okay. I definitely think so. But with that being said, we could also go to the East. So I'm interested because now I guess the Celtics can run through everybody since the matchups don't matter no more.
Here you go. Matchups do matter, bro.
Matchups don't matter.
Matchups do matter, but I'm saying there are teams like for instance, the Kevin Durant Warriors. I know this is a extreme, but at the same time, I ain't care about no damn matchup. They're just a better team.
They cared about that Houston Rockets matchup. 100%.
They're just a better team, though.
Asked.
They were still the better team, and they were still going to win that.
They were not the better team than Houston. You know that. Come on. Come on now. Come on.
I'm not. No, yes, they were, and I'm not blaming injury on Paul or whatever. I
hate niggas that do this. Oh my god. I hate niggas. I hate when y'all niggas do this. I remember.
Me too.
We ain't doing no revisionist history.
Oh my god.
We ain't doing no revisionist history.
Oh my gosh.
You 100% thought they was gonna beat the Warriors twice, back-to-back years. We ain't doing
I thought they had a shot, but I'm saying they were the Warriors were the better team, though. It's just facts. This is what it was, and what ended up happening happened. Like, and of course, you can point to injuries, but still, like they were the better team.
Okay, so are we saying the Raptors was a better? We going
down.
The
Raptors had a different. That season was that.
What? They was up 3. Wasn't they up 3-1 on them niggas or 3-2 on them niggas twice with the game 6 at their home? Like, we can't sit here. We can't do that. They definitely did not want to see the Rockets, bro. They definitely did not want to see the Rockets, bro. Come on now.
Okay.
Now the Cavs, they didn't give a fuck about them niggas. It was over with. But the Rockets, in terms of their style, that was not a matchup that they wanted to see. Come on. No, every team has a team that they don't want to see. Every team.
That's true. But there are still teams that they're just better than. And even if they don't want to see them, they're still better than them. And they still probably beat them. It'll just be a little harder.
Denver was better than the Timberwolves last year.
Denver was better than Timberwolves, yes.
And they got waxed. And I don't think that matchups matter. We can't just be like, because they have a better roster.
I don't think Denver lost because of matchups, though. That's the thing there. I don't think it's because that's just a bad matchup. That's why Denver lost. Like, no, I don't think that's why Denver lost. I think it was.
In my opinion, I think
a lot of that was mentality. I think a lot of that was. I think it was more. I think that was more mentality over matchups. I get what you're saying though, but I think that was more mental.
In my opinion, if we really wanted to keep it a bean over the past couple of years, if anybody was matchup proof, it was probably Denver. In my opinion, the having the double bigs was what ended up making that series more interesting than it was. Having Rudy Gobert on him was probably also what made that series a little bit more interesting than it was, because Cat was doing a really good job. We don't have to get too deep into that, but Cat was doing his job. Rudy Gobert was getting cooked. But part of that was part of the reason that they won. It was definitely matchup based, and obviously nobody could stop Ant. But they had the matchups on the perimeter. They needed a matchup for the big dog, and they had that. So, if we go back a year ago, I don't think anybody would have picked OKC to beat the Nuggets. If we go back a year ago, I damn sure don't think anybody would have picked the Mavericks to beat the Nuggets. And the same thing, like I said, if we were to run those matchups back last year, when we were having the same conversation last year, nobody thought that the Lakers, if they would have gotten past the Nuggets, were going to lose. I'm just saying. Maybe aside from Chris, because he was a Lakers hater. But in reality, he did not feel that way. In reality. So I'm just saying, matchups matter. Y'all capping.
I didn't say that it don't matter. I'm just saying there are teams, some seasons, there are teams where it's like, okay, yeah, they might be a tougher matchup, but I still got this team over them. I don't think they're going to slip up. And Denver slipped up last season. I will say that, yes. But I think a lot of that was up here when you up 20 in a closeout game and neither team scores 100 and you just let that shit just slip. That ain't matchups. That's up here. And you up 20 in a closeout game at home. You talking about you blaming matchups because of that? Like that you lost? Like, no, that's not.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
That's up here.
Yeah.
That's your mentals. That's
up here is what got you up 20. The matchup is what brought them back because you couldn't beat it. Yes.
I don't agree with
I'm
that.
just saying. The matchup is what brought you back. I mean, eventually, if you're trying to, I mean, we see it all the time. We just saw it last week when the Cavs came back on a weak ass Celtics, nigga.
No,
yeah,
man.
they couldn't hold us. Yeah,
nigga, we were missing players. Stop it. Man, he wanted to get that shit off so bad.
He's funny.
Oh, yeah. But getting into the East, man. Obviously we got the Celtics and the Cavs at the top, and then everybody's been talking about the Knicks, and the Knicks can't beat the Celtics, Cavs, or OKC, which that's a fact, but that also might be a hive mind. I don't want to write them off because at the end of the day, matchups do matter.
But see, I think the difference is it's not that they losing shot. They getting their ass kicked by all three teams. They're getting blown out. They're getting blown out by every one of them.
The Knicks is the team that I very much get very happy when the Cavs beat their ass. Every other team, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I be talking shit. The Knicks, I be like, yeah, fuck them niggas. We got them.
Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Right now, everybody wants to say that the West is so deep. The West is so deep. I don't necessarily think the West is that deep, but the after 6 in the East, it's and maybe after 6 in the West this year, it might be that way, the same way. But
I see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now that Wemby has gotten hurt, because we didn't really talk about that either. But Wemby being out. Kind of hinders what the bottom of the West looks like. But I mean, the bottom of the East with the Bulls, I mean, the Hawks, I could see the Hawks getting a couple games off the Cavs if they would play in that first round. But I don't know about a couple, but maybe one. But even Miami, like this year with no Jimmy,
Orlando had that injury bug bad.
Orlando has the injury bug bad. And really, that might affect their future bad because, they say Paolo be shooting at mid-range. Hey, George Yang, real one, real nigga. Hey, George Yang, pump Paolo. Hey, don't act now. Nah,
he's ass.
No,
he ain't
Paolo?
ass.
No, Yang at me.
Nah.
You see him cooking with the Hawks right now?
But nah, like the top 6 in the East, though, I think it's where you just want to pay attention to. Go out to this stretch. I think they're still. I mean, obviously they're all at 35 wins. The Detroit, Indiana, Milwaukee,
Pistons.
Yeah. So I mean, that's as close as you can get down the stretch. Shout out to Detroit. I know I mentioned it last. We talked about them last week, or 2 weeks ago. But Detroit, they're still. I think they came off they won like 7 in a row, and then they lost to Denver. But now they won a couple more. Like, shout out to Detroit, they're balling, man. It's like they figure out their groove, and for a young team, that's hella important. We've seen it all the time. We've seen it every year, pretty much, with the young team trying to progress. We saw it a little bit last year, with Indiana actually, and looks like they're settled into where they are, that 4 or 5 seed in the East. It's kind of it's where they are. It's where a lot of people thought they would be, and here they are. So we'll see if Milwaukee can kind of make a stretch run, throughout and kind of and muck up and muck up what's going on at the top. But it's still
need Milwaukee to get in that. I ain't gonna lie. I need Milwaukee to get in that 3 seed.
Yeah, get that 3 seed. That 1-4 in the second round might it'll be interesting.
I'm not worried about Milwaukee.
You don't want to see the Knicks.
I'll talk
playoff Knicks different. That's what they told me.
But last.
No, they told you. Hey,
Cat
having a good ass season, man.
He is MVP type season.
Mm-hmm.
MVP type season, but big boy. But I mean, I'm not worried about. The Bucks might have to. If the Cavs want to go to the finals, Bucks might have to handle the Celtics.
You want to take out the Celtics? Okay, I see what you're saying.
I seen enough. I seen enough. so Milwaukee, I need to get that 3 seed, but If not, I mean, I think a lot of people are expecting kind of a war if that is the case between the Cavs and Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not so sure if that is the case, but we shall see if that ends up being it. But I think I have Milwaukee maybe at the beginning of the season going.
Yeah,
Getting Kyle
that's gonna be a fun week on this pod. I cannot wait. I want to see that matchup in the conference finals. Y'all better make it there. I want to see it because that'll be a fun ass week, boy, on this pod.
So, Cavs can't beat the Celtics. Hey, it ain't gonna be that fun of a week because it's a small chance that I pick the Cavs in that series.
He's trying to hedge his bets, Chris. That's all.
I'm not hedging my bets. He's trying to hedge it. While the Cavs had a great win, against the Celtics last week, and it is, as Chris mentioned, there was some players missing, but at the same time,
Drew didn't play, did he?
No, it was Drew and Porzingis didn't play, which is is two key matchups that are kind of missing there. But
that's fair.
For all 4 games, the Cavs have been down significantly. So
we'll see how it shakes
coming back in 2 of them. I mean, it's great, but with that being said, DeAndre Hunter did have that boy on lock. Hold that down.
Man scored 44 points. Who had who on lock?
Hey. He had about 35 in the first half, ain't it? Hey, yeah, one of them Kevin Love games. I'm saying,
the Kevin Love game, not the Kevin Love
30 in the first quarter, ends with 32. Fucking talking. But I mean, hey, they was letting that. We talk about matchups. They was letting too many switches happen a little too easy. So. We'll see how that works for them, but that switching shit just across the league, there's too many. It's too easy sometimes. Like they don't even
attempt to fight over a screen. That screen come, they just move. They just
let that shit go.
Bro, you know what they when they try to pull up here.
We'll switch.
That was really what happened in the second half. Is like Dean Wade and DeAndre Hunter was like, nah, y'all not switching. Which Garland was battling, but
it's only so much you could do. They were doing that shit in the Denver Boston game. They were seeking out Jamal, and they were just letting that shit happen. It was like, come on, come on, fight
back.
Fall into their head, fight.
But that's all, and that's also the thing. Like why it gets so annoying sometimes when they talk about the NBA and say everybody shoots threes, because as much as the Celtics were shooting threes and they shot a lot of threes and probably a little bit more than they should have in that game, the difference in the game initially was the fact that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown got to they saw that they had mismatches and they got to it immediately, got to the paint, and it was just jumpers, little bunny jumpers every time, and they weren't hitting every one, but they started getting a lot of offensive rebounds that led to more threes and stuff like that. So it's like their offense was very multiple for people to just be pigeonholing them into threes, and yeah, it's just. Hey, but shout out to Todd Jerome, 6th man of the year. He looked Payton Pritchard in the eye and said, "Fuck you."
He for sure is.
Okay. He probably lost it after that game. I'm telling you,
bro. Don't nobody know, bro. Y'all market ain't big enough.
Watch, you gonna see. Y'all seen Evan Mobley now? He got robbed. He should be 2-time defensive player of the year,
huh?
He should be 2-time defensive player of the year. He got robbed. Look at the odds. I'm just saying.
What they say, Cat?
I want to say Triple J is. he like 4th right now.
If Memphis was still that 2nd seed, they probably would have went to him. But they slipping, so.
The nigga is averaging like 6 rebounds. I don't want to hear it, bro. Like, no.
That's what they say, though. That's what they say. It ain't us voting. It's them.
No, Evan Mobley's getting it this year. They gonna give him his just due. and then he's gonna fold, and they're gonna. I already foresee it.
Yeah.
No, he ain't gonna fold. Watch, y'all gonna see.
We'll see.
Y'all gonna see. But yeah, man, I think ultimately, yeah, I think it's gonna come down to one of those three teams: the Cavs, the Bucks, or Boston. Which I lean heavily on terms of Boston right now. But you know, they want that Boston Lakers series. I'm just saying.
Of course they do.
I said it for the past couple seasons.
They want it.
They wanted it last year. If the Lakers would have got out there, if they wouldn't have sold to Jamal Murray, hey, I'm just telling you.
They couldn't do shit with them though. Boy. That series was crazy. Every game,
it was
walk
ham.
them down. Walk them down.
Yeah, it was hard ham. It was hot pockets because hey, JJ Redick might be. What do they say?
Sweet,
next Pat Riley.
Hey, what Ham is 2-time season tournament champ. They put some respect on his name.
Facts.
That's
big facts.
It's on his Wikipedia page.
All right, bro.
That nigga don't even get a ring for that, do you?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Get a banner too.
Oh, that's funny. Did they hang a banner in Milwaukee? I don't even remember that. I remember the banner night in LA, but I don't remember them hanging a banner in Milwaukee.
I don't know. Knowing the NBA, that they probably didn't show it because you know.
Before we sign off, MVP, y'all think it's going to Shea for sure?
Yeah. Now Jokic is having his best season, which is crazy to say after him having 3 MVPs. But I think they're too far ahead in the standard. I just think it makes sense for Shea to finally get one.
What about Bron?
Nah, I'm not buying into that narrative. I get it though. I get it. I get
These
the late push like, that they're trying to do here. But nah.
They said Bron was third in MVP MVP, and the shit said less than 1%. I was like, bro, what are y'all talking about? Like,
it's narrative, man. Narrative.
1% chance, and everybody under him literally said the same thing. So I'm like, so what is he like? 0.999 and everybody else like 0.89. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, this shit dumb. But hey, I mean, it's a lot of season left. If they were to close the gap on the Thunder, either team, OKC or the Lakers or the Nuggets, you never know. Maybe the conversation gets a little interesting. But
maybe,
we'll see. We'll see if the conversation gets a little interesting. We'll see. But I will say again, I think Jason Tatum deserves to be in that conversation as well. And it seems like after the beginning of the season, there was a little talk about it, but it's basically been like nothing since. And
like, nah.
In my opinion, I already told you guys, I think he's the best player on the team anyway. But in this season specifically, I think he's been the clear cut. Like it ain't been no type of discussion, conversation like it could have possibly been in the past. So, I do think Jason Tatum needs a little bit more respect there as well. But we'll see. We'll see when the voting comes out. But with that being said, that gives us a wrap to another episode of the Speak Up Sports Podcast. Next week, we will catch y'all during the biggest week of the NFL offseason, and the biggest week for a lot of us. So, I guess the biggest week for me and Cass because our teams can't get in the playoffs.
Exactly. So this our Super Bowl.
This our offseason. It's our time of the year.
It's our playoffs. Facts.
But we'll catch y'all next week, and we'll see you then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fuck Celtics.